I'm on Hope Avenue today, and this is going to be a hard video to make. It's an emotional one. It's about a little dog that we rescued called Rodney, and he needs help. I wondered how to make this video, thought long and hard about it, and I just decided that honesty and being straight up and explaining the situation was the best solution. Little Rodney, unfortunately, over in Wales, needs a new home, and I'm going to tell you why. But first I'm going to tell you a little bit about his story.
Now, mister, you just have to be strong and battle as hard as you can for the next 24 hours.
The first time a lot of people would have seen Rodney was here on Hope Avenue. We put some footage in of him. He was tiny little puppy, found on the streets, all scraggly, and he nearly died with me here. I had to watch him overnight, and people would have followed along with me, some of the earlier followers, and seen Rodney as he nearly took his last breaths, really. But he battled and battled and battled, and we kept him alive as a little puppy. But it was touch and go. But Rodney grew up. We didn't know what colour his skin was going to be. We didn't know. It was a real emotional roller coaster. I remember getting him, you know, steak and fatty fish and different things to fix his skin. And then I remember walking with him down here on Hope Avenue. Megan will put in some videos. There was no Hope Avenue, there was no flowers. It was very, very early days of Happy Doggo. That was 2.5 years ago. And eventually Rodney got adopted, and he got adopted to Wales. And the reason I'm making this video is because of his owners, really. They are in a position where they have to surrender Rodney. Now, what are people gonna think? People are gonna think, screw you, you gave up on him. I could just, before I was making this video, I was just trying to anticipate what people would say. It's the internet. People get angry. They don't look through the full situation. But Cameron and Karasu adopted Rodney. There must have been 100 people who applied to adopt Rodney. He got about 20 million views around the world. He was like a viral sensation, for want of a better word. He was everywhere. But we picked them because they're wonderful people. They actually, funnily enough, got engaged right here. Cameron planned it. They came over to pick Rodney up to settle him in. They were the most wonderful owners. They came and got engaged here. He went back to Wales and he lived with them. And Rodney did fantastic. It's a street dog. He has some, I guess, behavioural issues growing up, but they invested so much time, so much money, and so much commitment into making Rodney a better dog. And he's a very good dog, but he just has some little traits that are not fantastic at the moment. And that has accentuated itself big time now because they've had a baby and Rodney has turned a little bit. He started growling at the baby. He started being menacing, I would say, is the best way to describe it, towards the baby. Nothing's happened, but they're worried. And after an awful lot of time and consideration, I can't explain to you how much time they've put into training, I'm just gonna have a sit down here, to training, to making him the dog that he is today. Rodney's an amazing dog, but he likes his own space. And in the last 3-4 months from talking to them, they've not made this decision lightly, but they're gonna have to give Rodney up and find him a new home. Now, I know, that's why I'm making this video. I know, like I thought about it from talking to them, from, you know, voice messages, very emotional chats. We were like, what's the best way to deal with this? Happy Doggo is a charity. We can't, you know, every dog. We've had about, I would say, 3. There's been Stitch, who had to come back. There's been Rusty, who got rehomed on his 2nd day. And there's been, I'm going to say that's it. Out of 108 dogs, there's been smaller problems, but those are the ones where we've had issues with behaviour. Rodney is an issue with his behaviour now, and we need to get him out of there. And I support the guys 100%. 100%. They haven't let me down. They haven't let Happy Doggo down. They actually, do you know what? They did a fundraiser for Happy Doggo about 4 months ago, like ultra marathon, jogging, Tough Mudder, one of those type of things. And they raised money. So they've been wonderful supporters of Happy Doggo, wonderful people. When you've got a baby in the house, I've never had kids, when you've got a baby in the house and the dog's threatening it, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I wanted to make this video to protect them as much as anything. I was like, do we make it a little, you know, Instagram reel? It could get loads of views. It could get loads of home applications for Rodney. But I thought about it And I thought YouTube was the best place to put it, because to explain it properly is not easy. You know, they're great people, but Rodney just needs a different home. He needs a home with no kids, obviously, and probably the only dog. He's not a bad dog. He's not a bad dog at all. He just, Cameron and Karis and Zoe, who does our adoptions, are all going to be involved in the process of finding him his new home. He'll be wonderful somewhere else, just around kids and stuff. It's just not going to work. Am I sad about it? No, sad's not the right word. I think you just got to be practical. You got to be like, this is one of the hard things of running Happy Doggo, is stuff that happens in the background that you have to fix problems like this. And this is one where I decided, instead of making a reel, or instead of trying to do it quietly, or, you know, I told the guys, I was like, look, you're probably going to get some backlash to this. And they know that as well, because people are very judgmental without knowing all the facts. So instead of just putting up a short video, I said, let's talk it through and explain exactly what it is. So we're going to find a home for Rodney in England, hopefully with, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, you know, that part of the world. Hopefully we can turn it into a positive. That's what we do at Happy Doggo here. The dogs are very difficult. Like, it's very, very difficult to manage all the, you know, street dogs especially. You know, Rodney was essentially on the street at whatever that was, 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, on his own, trying to survive, and we saved his life. And that's, you know, those things traumatize dogs a little bit. Like a kid, you know, if a kid is, parents abandon it, or they get abused, or whatever it is as a kid, like, that has an effect on an adult. Same with dogs. So Rodney needs our help for a second time. So hopefully you guys can help. Hopefully people won't be judgmental. I'm not judgmental. So if anybody was going to be, you know, angry with the owners, or disappointed or let down, you know, that would be me. I would, you know, express it to them privately or something. Like, I couldn't be less angry. It's just a situation. Like, you should see how upset they are, how much they've deliberated over this decision. All that matters is Rodney. They have spent a fortune. They have been wonderful parents. They've taken him on adventures, training, everything. So there's no lack of commitment from their part. So we're going to turn this into a positive. That's what we do at Happy Doggo. It's Hope Avenue. It's 2 years later since Rodney has been away from Hope Avenue, but we're going to use our reach and extend our arm around the world and put it around Rodney and his owner's shoulders and help him find another home. So maybe that's you watching this. Maybe you enjoyed Rodney's story when you first saw him. We can't be involved for a whole dog's life. It's like when dogs die and stuff like that. Like, I'm upset, but I have so many, like, I have 100 on the street, 108 have been adopted. There's 20 that are sick here at the moment. There's thousands that get sterilized all around. There's thousands that get fed. Like, I can't be involved in them all personally, but this one absolutely have to be, because Rodney was a little boy on the streets all on his own, and he's had a good start to his life, and he's a teenager now. The rest of his life is going to be fantastic. We're going to figure out a good solution for him. So down below there'll be a way to apply for adopting him. Like I said, his current parents, Zoe, everybody, we're going to try and find a really good home for him. Maybe you can spread the message on this video, spread some positivity, and let's not make it a negative thing. Let's make it a positive thing, because dogs need our help. So hopefully that explained everything for you. It's these are the sort of things that I have to deal with in different formats, times 10 every day, and I can't always share them. But this one, I just felt it was good to share and ask for help and ask for people to be supportive, because we're going to turn it into a good situation. So thanks for watching. Little Rodney will find an amazing home. We'll make sure of that.